Hi, my name is Nina Lassam, and I handle marketing as well as author and writer partnerships at Wattpad. Wattpad is the place to share and discover stories, where millions of readers come online every day to connect with writers and discover new stories to read. We're mostly a mobile application, but we're also available on the web. I started at Wattpad a few years ago after I finished grad school, and I've been working there ever since, all in the marketing department, but with changing roles. And I think that's really reflective of the changing publishing industry itself. When Wattpad was started, there were no Kindles, no iPhones, and when we were talking about e-reading, we were really talking about reading 5 lines of text on a very small screen of a cell phone that probably flipped shut. Whereas now when we're talking about e-reading, we're talking about iPads, Kobos, Nooks, and iPad and iPhone apps, as well as the huge proliferation of Android as well. Wattpad is a really great way for readers and writers to connect. We think that a writer has a great chance of marketing their book when they form personal relationships with readers, and especially today when the marketing budget is often so small, even for the big presses, but especially with the proliferation of very small and very interesting presses that have come out in the last few years that are producing really wonderful stories. But the budget for marketing is often extremely small, so a lot of the onus and responsibility is actually on the writer. And I think one way to compare this is to think about the celebrity book deal. When we're talking about celebrity books, it's not necessarily, although of course sometimes, about the story that they've written, but the fact that they, the writer, has a recognizable name and recognizable brand, and that they really connect with the readers that they're trying to market to. So we think that that's how all writers should think. We think that all writers should think of themselves as a celebrity, and they should push themselves out there using social media and all of the tools that are available to them. And so at Wattpad, when we work with writers, we're working with them as part of their larger marketing strategy. And what that really means is we're helping to connect them with their readers on all social media. So we can work with them in a variety of ways. We can either lead that, or we can take a backseat. We can be as much a part of it or as little a part of it as is desired. I think the best way to show how Wattpad can help a writer connect with readers and really build a fan base and long-lasting relationships that aren't just connected to the launch of a new book or a big event, but actually can last throughout a writer's career, is to talk about Diana Alinka, who is a young writer, and she has her first book coming out next spring. And so she started early, which I think is really important for writers as well. She started in 2010 by putting up on Wattpad a book called Natalia, which was actually an offshoot of the fantasy world that she'd created for Zirconia, which is her published series coming out next year. And what she decided to do was syndicate it, so that means that each week a new chapter would be published on Wattpad, so sort of like a television show. And each week she acquired more and more fans, and she connected with them directly by talking with them on Twitter and Facebook and Wattpad and all of the platforms that interested in her and were available to her and where her readers were. And as a result of that, this campaign, she's actually been read over 2 million times, and now her publisher and herself have a great fan base to reach out to and to help spread the word about her story when her actual novel launches in 2012. I think marketing is one of the most difficult parts of putting out a book, but I also think it's one of the most exciting, and there are so many wonderful examples and so many other disciplines and industries that we can draw from to find really innovative ways to connect readers and their writers. But ultimately, the voice of the writer is the one that's going to carry their story, and it's the one that has the greatest possibility for bringing that story to the reader through the marketing campaign. And that's the strategy that we work behind at Wattpad. If you have any questions about how we market writers or any questions about Wattpad at all, I'd be happy to answer them. You can call me or email me at nina@wattpad.com. Thanks so much.